Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session of WonderFest here in the Impact Arena, the place where we celebrate how Genially creates real impact in the way we teach, learn, and communicate. So, today we'll discover inspiring practices that are transforming learning and creativity around the world. Four of our professionals from different countries, this is amazing. This will show us how to use Genially to innovate, connect, and make knowledge more engaging. What I love to do and host this kind of sessions because you can learn from each other. So it's amazing. This will be a short and dynamic session. We'll start with a first round where each guest shares one of their good practices. And then we will move into a more open conversation about motivation, collaboration, and innovation. So let's begin. I'm going to host, so my first speaker. Today we're joined for professionals who perfectly represent the diversity of Guinean community. So from France, pardon my French, Karine de Chanel de la Cour, a former French as a second language teacher turned digital learning designer, and her mission is to make complex ideas in simple and engaging through interactive learning experience. Welcome, Karine. Welcome. I spell all your name.
Yeah, right.
Je ne parle pas français. From France, another French, Laura Chimea, an naturopath specialized in sleep disorders. She used Genially to share her knowledge about well-being and to make her training sessions accessible to everyone. I love accessibility. Welcome, Larry. Welcome to the Impact Arena. Also for France, Joan Brenner, a learning engineer, a serious game designer. She collaborates with major brands like Louis Vuitton to create immersive learning experience that prove learning can be both effective and fun. Thank you, Joanne, for being here as well.
Thank you, you too. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone.
And from the United States, Kim Scott, founder of Kim Scott Learning Consultants. She's an award-winning instructional designer and learning strategist who has led global projects spanning over 150 countries, helping organizations build engaging and measurable learning solutions. So thank you, Kim, as well, for being here, and thank you all for being here. Let's begin with our first round of questions. Any questions so far? Are you ready? The first round. Karin, you have spent many years helping people learn through interactive design. You often refer to SAMR model as a framework to measure innovation in digital learning. Could you show us how Genially helps you reach the modification and redefinition stages and how that translates into more engaging learning experience?
Sure. I'm going to share my Genially. Okay, let's see where it is. Here it is. I can share it. Does everybody see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so SAMR is a conceptual framework developed by Ruben Puentedora in 2006, and it was made to inform educators about the use of digital technologies in teaching and added values. So this framework has 4 levels. So the first one is level 1, which is just substitution. So digital technology replaces analog technology. There is no functional change. Just to using a word processor to write an essay. Second level, augmentation, is just using digital technology to enhance the learning task. So use some functionalities just as search, spell check, voice input, and hyperlink for Google Docs, for example. What interests me is modification level. Digital technology is used to rethink a learning task, integrate multimedia resources, text, images, videos, podcasts, and dynamic graphics. And I'm sure that now you can think about some Genially functionalities. And then the last one is redefinition. Digital technology is used to create a new learning task. So use video conferencing to collaborate with another geographically distant group, for example. So what interests me is level 3 and 4, because level 1 and 2 are just improvement, and level 3 and 4 are transformations. So how can you reach transformation levels with Genially, which was your question? So you Genially help us to rethink learning tasks so we can integrate multimedia resources, images, videos, podcasts, dynamic graphics, create interactive and dynamic educational resources and interactive questions. And for level 4, to promote creativity, collaboration, and communication, you can have team conception, comment collaborators' works, live presentation, and sharing on social networks. So I had the example of team conception to foster creativity, collaboration, communication. So
Wow.
yeah, I can foster active learning. So the skills developed are communication, teamwork, listening, and problem solving. And the Genially features you are going to use besides all the creation features to create your pages are adding collaborators, change tracking, comments, insertion of external resources. Okay. And Genially has something which is very good because you have also some indicators to measure learner engagement. So you can measure active participation and performance in learning activities with collect activity. You can measure the level of participant involvement in projects through history of actions. And also you can measure satisfaction just at the end of the learning section through interactive questionnaire and open question. Okay, here I
That's amazing.
am.
Amazing. And I actually found level 2 very tricky, but I'm not an instructional designer. But it's quite well how you can measure and also track the engagement of your participants. It helps you in so many ways.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Thank you very much, Karin.
You're
So
welcome.
the next question is for Larry. I don't know if any one of you have a question for Karin, but if you have any kind of question, you can leave it in the chat and we can ask her later. So Larry, where are you, Larry?
Here.
Hi, Larry.
Yay.
So your project combines well-being, education, accessibility. You created Genially about food reflexology to help people improve their sleep. And it's amazing. I need it for my baby. Could you share how you use Genially to make this content interactive and at the same time easy to understand for everyone, even those less familiar with digital tools?
Yeah, sure. So, what I'm used to do as a naturopath is to present like on a conference. I have my audience in front of me. And what I like to do first is interact with them and ask questions like about fun facts about sleep. Like, do you know how long how long how many days someone can spend without sleeping? So that was actually a question for record, like Guinness Book of Records. So it's very interesting. So I always start with fun facts. That's a way to engage people and maybe make them more familiar with the interactive side of the training. So maybe I will share my Genially to show you that. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Good. But I don't see you anymore, but that's okay. Here. So I created my Genially like a path. You can travel along my Genially. So first you have the fun facts. You do that, it's a quiz. So you have the question, you answer. Of course, I know my answers, but you can travel along with the arrows going back and forth. So that's easy implied with the arrows. But then you have the house. People might not be familiar with the interactive aspect of the Genially. So what I do is I present my interactive button here, my home button, and I say you can come back to this page whenever you want during your exploration by clicking on this button. So the less familiar of us can easily understand. So then I continue my path along the training. Okay, I found, oh, here is my home. I can go back whenever I want. Okay, so that's good. And then still going on, I tried to find a dot line, but I didn't. So I used the mountaintop to put my path on. And what I love about Genially is I can have so many interactive buttons on the same page. So here are all the areas with foot reflexology that are useful for sleep to enhance your sleeping functions. So you click on one, but first I want to say, here I also presented another button, the star button. Again, you can come back to this specific page whenever you want. So let's click on one button. Okay, so this is the brain. If I want, I can go back and forth again with the arrows. I can go back to the home, and I can go back to the page where all the areas are described. And I say, click on the area you want to discover here, or follow the path I'm offering you. Because I don't want people to get lost. I want them to explore all the areas. So they can either go on a specific one if they want, or they can follow the path I made for them. So it's logical, and they are sure to explore every area I give them. Then, well, it's not finished yet, but there will be a quiz in the end because I want people to be engaged, and I want it to be fun to test their memory, to help them go back to the areas they want to improve their knowledge of, etc., etc. So here is my method to help people understand the digital tools, how I created it.
This is amazing, and I believe that Genially is a very intuitive platform, and it's very friendly. And what I find more interesting about these topics is that you can even get insights from your quizzes and how many people, for example, open that specific slide. So it totally helps you to understand your audience as well.
Yeah, that's very good tool.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing this. So let's keep with our next speaker, Joanne Brenner. So, Joanne, your work focuses on making corporate e-learning more dynamic through gamification and storytelling. You have shown that training can be enjoyable and still effective. Could you tell us how Genially helps you design immersive experience that keep learners motivated?
Yeah, I can explain. Thank you, Christian. And hi, everyone. I'm Joanna, and I share my work today. So sometimes school is often see too theoretical and not very enjoyable for some subjects, so which make it harder for students to stay focused and learn. Yeah, and when I was younger, my mother introduced me to educational video games to help me to learn different subjects like math, English, Japanese too, with we know Nintendo, PlayStation, and computer. And this inspired me to promote the same idea in my own Genially training. So the concept of learning through play. I create interactive simulation and escape game that make training more engaging and meaningful. Yeah, sorry of my English. So for example, for some company, I developed so simulation game where you play the role of a salesperson dealing with unhappy customers, handling refund, complaint, advice, or welcoming clients. And distant professional topics that might seem boring to practical and enjoyable learning experiences. Yeah. When I start at Louis Vuitton, for example, within the industrial and master data department, my goal has been to be gamifying the learning process to make complex subjects easier to grasp. So I want to continue developing this approach that transforms training into fun, immersive, and motivating experience. I cannot share my work because of confidentiality, no, but the video games are my specialty. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And your mom, she's a genius. Really. Does she like Genially?
Yeah. And I create all my design alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know that it is good, but because when people start like gaming and I just learned something about the curve of when you are gonna recall something. Like it's I forgot the name. Is it 24 hours? How many people is gonna recall something that they just learned? That how is good they're gonna remember? How long will it take? So through gaming and through gamification, gamified activities, it's they will get the reward and they will start to remember what they learned when they started playing that game. So it's actually very interesting and very engaging. I love that kind of topics. And thank you very much. So our next guest is Kim Scott from United States. So Kim, you have led learning projects all over the world, combining instructional design, creativity, and measurable results. Could you share how Genially fits into your approach to creating learning that both engaging and strategic, one that truly drives impact?
One thing I like to do is I like to look for gaps within the instructional design industry, things nobody's talking about, or things everybody's talking about, but nobody has provided a solution for. So, one of the things I've commonly seen with instructional designers is there are people who are just starting in the field that want to build a portfolio. There are people who've been in the field 20 years and got all this experience, but now they need to find a job and they need to build a portfolio, but they don't know where to get started. So after I kept hearing that question, I said, let me build a solution. And often when people ask that question, you see, people in the comments of LinkedIn or Facebook, and they'll just throw out a bunch of links. But that wasn't getting it. It was all over the place. So I decided to design something a lot more innovative, a lot more engaging and strategic using Genially. So I'm going to share my screen.
Wonderful.
And what I did is I actually built it into my website. So I'm using it for, excuse me, a little bit of content creation. So on my website, on my blog, I have resources to get your portfolio done. So if you don't know what a portfolio is, if you know what it is, but you're having trouble figuring out, or I believe it was Joanna that said she had a great game, but she couldn't share it due to confidentiality. And we have that same thing in the United States. So if she wanted to rebuild some great games for her portfolio, but she wasn't quite sure what to build the games about, she could use this resource. So I put it on my blog and I actually embed it into the blog. So I give them a little bit of the overview and they can interact directly with the Genially on my website, or they can open it up in full screen, and it has a little bit of information about like what a portfolio is and what it does. It also has links to all my socials to encourage people to continue to follow me. And then I give them real world solutions. Here are some challenges you can go to, and here's a little bit about those challenges and what they do, and a link to them. Here's a Facebook group that actually has challenges that you can use to create your own instructional design portfolio. Within the United States, there is some public domain information, and you can use that information as copyright free to create your own courses or content for your portfolio. There's an excellent website called Go Design Something. So if I'm just going to use Joanna again, for example, if she wants to take some of those great ideas she had for games and use some other content that's not confidential, she can go to this resource and it will give her portfolio prompts that she can create her content on. So I decided to use Genially for this example because one, I love to use a tool to teach people a tool. A lot of there are many instructional designers who want to use tools like Articulate or Captivate, and they are great, but you have to start from scratch. And it's very time consuming to build. What I love about Genially is they have a lot of templates that you can look at the template, you can customize it to your need, and you can go. Also, a lot of the interactivity is built in, so it's easy for you to figure out how it works. So I wanted to use Genially because I wanted to expose them to this tool if they didn't know and show them how easy it is to get up and running and teach somebody something new without having to start from scratch.
That's amazing. It actually sounds like an amazing speech. I'm gonna copy you.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. Really. You see how it actually didn't add value. And the best of it is like, for example, you mentioned other tools. The right thing to say is, for example, Genially is a very versatile tool. So it actually stands alone, but also complements amazing with other tools. So it is amazing. Thank you very much, Kim, for sharing this. And thank you all for those fantastic examples. It's amazing to see how each of you use Genially in such different ways, yet with the same goal to make learning more human, interactive, and impactful. So you can see from Kim in their own industry, Carrie, Larry, Joanne, it's amazing. So the second round are open questions. Let's move to more open conversation. These questions are directed to anyone in particular. They're not directed to anyone in particular, but I will invite someone to start off for each question. Feel free to jump in or build on each other ideas. So, first question, are you ready? Yes? Let's go. What do you think most motivates people when creating with Genially? It is the creativity, the freedom, the visual appeal, or something deeper?
Well, I'd say you have different materials. You can have PDF, you can have PowerPoint, but you're very limited in resources. So it's not so much fun. I think when you create something, when you put your heart in it, it's more alive, it's more inventive, it's you. You can put your own personality in the design of whatever you are creating. And that's for me very important. And the fun you are creating with, it provides something to the user. It's a deeper experience to my mind. So it's very, very important from that point of view. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rory. So it's interesting because you have a blank Canva there where you can spread your creativity and also follow, for example, some other templates and maybe copy what you like. It's amazing. Who else wants to ask something?
I can jump in. One thing that I've experienced when I've exposed others to Genially, the first thing they do, they go in and they usually see all the templates and they're just amazed. So I think it's the visual appeal that Genially has done an awesome job of creating some templates that are very visually appealing. They're media rich and they really show you what you can do in the tool, but they allow you to build from scratch if you want to. But I think a lot of times people don't know what to do with a tool until they see it done. So that template gallery really shows you, oh, this is how far you can go. And if you don't have time, you can use our template and customize it to your need. Or you can just start from scratch, but the sky's the limit with Genially. So I think a lot of people are amazed by that visual appeal. The interaction is included in there already, and the fact that it sparks ideas and said, well, you see, now I know what it can do. I can go build my own thing and build something else amazing to add to this template gallery.
Amazing. That's true. The sky's the limit with Genially. I'm gonna copy you, Kim, really. It's amazing. So, let's move to our next question. If you had to give one quick tip to someone who just starting to use Genially, what would it be?
Yeah, I would just start to, as Kim said, just start with the templates, just to know what you can do with the Genially tools. And after, try everything and see what can meet your needs. So if you have some objectives, what kind of tools would you like to use, or yeah, try everything.
Wow, this is amazing. That's true. Who else wants to jump in?
Yeah, there's something I'd like to share because Genially is full of possibilities, so it could be overwhelming for someone starting. So that's why templates are very important, but also be sure before you start to put your ideas on the paper and maybe, I don't know the word in English, slice your work and use folders to organize it. Yeah, I don't know if slice was the right word, but
Yes, maybe put a scenario and just write down everything and just put number 1 and then number 2 and then number 3 and then what can I do? What do I want to do with Genially, and what is my objective?
yeah, have clear ideas before you enter Genially because it's so wide that you can easily get lost when you start. There are so many options. It could be really overwhelming.
Totally. Thank you. That's totally true. Thank you so much, Larry. People, we are running out of time. We have 1 minute before the next session of WonderFest. But if somebody, yeah, it is a spectacular. I need more time. I'm so sorry. We have a lot of people because the next session is like an amusement park. It's amazing. There are a lot of people ready for the next session. But I would like to thank you, all of you, for being here. Also, if you have any question for these spectacular speakers, please leave it in the chat because we're going to share all the questions to all of them so they can also answer all to you. I'm very sorry because I'm really enjoying it and this conversation, and I need to hear more. I want to be with you with a wine and hearing more of your feedback and your experience about Genially. It actually inspires me a lot. But thank you very much, and we're gonna see you in the next session if you're gonna be there, and at the end of the WonderFest at the Genially Quiz Coaster.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity, definitely.
Thank you.
What an amazing.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.